Right, we're live. I would never know when we're going to be live. Listen, first of all, welcome to Rosemary's Cook Along. And I must say, Rosemary at home. And I'm very excited about this because this is what you're making now. This is the most beautiful lemon tart, except because I did the icing sugar a bit earlier. I did this all earlier. Never mind, you can see what it's meant to look like. And I've made the kumquats for the middle, but what I've tried to do is make it a little bit Christmassy. So you can make this for Christmas, and that's why the kumquats are there. So that's what you're going to end up with. So, and I think it looks pretty good, and we'll go into it later. Now, the first thing you've got to do now is, and I want you to please send messages if I'm going too fast, but I hope some of you got, at least most of you got the message to say, put the butter, make it into breadcrumbs beforehand. Now, I haven't, because I was a little concerned about...
I think we've still got people joining us.
Okay, right. So what I'd like to do is just say, what fun with the flowers this week. I've had such fun this week. So it's been full on as well. Now, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be making the pastry first, so we need to get that in the oven as quickly as possible, because I'm achieving a lemon tart in record time, all right? So now, what I've got is here, I've got some butter and the plain flour, and all I'm going to do is bring it together, and I'm going to make it into breadcrumbs. Now, I'm hoping some of you have already done that to make life a little easier. So there we are. It won't take me too long. Look, I can see I've got a cup of tea this time. I'm going to make a cocktail later, but I just hadn't had my cup of tea this afternoon, so they quickly made me a cup of tea so I could get it. Now, when you make crumbs with butter, well, just put it between your fingers like that. That's all you do. Put it between. Very quick. All right? Now, if you're dealing with harder butter, make sure it's cut into little pieces so you can do that. Obviously, it is better to do it with a colder butter than too softer butter. But when I do this, I'm going to tell you something. I normally do it in the processor, so I do it very, very quickly. So it's made into breadcrumbs, quickly done that, and then I take it, then I basically just put the egg yolks in and so on and so forth. But we're doing it the old-fashioned way, as I always tell you, because I think when you don't have something like that, a lot of people don't have processors. So,
Chef, sorry, question. What's the temperature of the oven?
the temperature of the oven is 200 Celsius. Okay, make sure you got it on now. Put it on as high as possible. Well, that is, as quickly as possible. Now, let me wait till you do that. Now, the next thing is, are you all ready for the next stage? Now, this is the stage which is a bit more unusual for some people. I'm not going to put it in the fridge to rest. What I'm going to try and achieve is actually put it in the oven straight away. It's better to rest it. But if you've got time, you do this again, rest it, because it then softens the gluten, and that is, it makes the whole thing better when it's done from chilled. But I'm not going to do it this time. I'm just going to put in my egg yolk, 2 egg yolks, please. Okay. And then I'm going to keep these whites for later. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a tiny bit of water to bring it together, cold water. Right, just a little bit, because what I don't want it to be too soft, so just a teaspoon, because in the recipe, I know it's got 3 to 4, but that's when it's in the processor, it's cold butter and everything else. And I'm just bringing it together a little bit more. There we are. A little bit more. There we are. Now that was 2 tablespoons level. There we are. It's perfect. Now, there we are. Oh, it's lovely. Now I'm just going to bring it on the top here. Take this off. So, now, you're not making bread here, you're making pastry. So remember, you don't tear it, you just knead it so it's soft in your hand. I love it. I love making this, because it's almost like dealing with a piece of fabric when you do it. It's a lovely way to do it. Right, I'm now going to I'm going to rinse my hands, so off you go, rinse your hands. So, there we go. So,
Just a question, what's the secret to separate the egg,
the secret,
egg to the white? How do you do that? Do you want to do a demo quickly?
I will do. Let's get this pastry on the go and then I'll do a demo. Right, so, absolutely. Now, you know what I've forgotten to do? I've forgotten to put the icing sugar in. Never mind. I'm not going to bother. Never mind.
What do we tell them?
Normally, in the recipe, I would have put in, I can't believe I forgot that. I'd never forget my icing sugar. Doesn't matter. But there's something I can do. There we are. I can roll it in icing sugar, why not? Right. Roll it in the icing sugar. Make it sweet. So, okay. Rather than the flour. Now I'm going to roll it out. Now this is just like some fabric. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? I love that. And I love the colour as well. The colour's great. So nice. Actually, I love it when things go slightly wrong because I think, well, what does it matter? I mean, with me, I'm one of these people, okay, cooking is precise, especially patisserie, but you know it's going to work. So you just do it another way. And that's what I love. There we are. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to use a bit of flour just to get that in. Right. Now, obviously, some of you who know me really well know I have a pet hate. And one of my pet hates is thick pastry. So you have to be able to see through it, really. So, but obviously, I don't want to make it too thin today, only because I think if you're doing pastry and you're not used to it, it's difficult. Now, did you see that? I made it into a half moon. Then I made it into a quarter. So what I'm going to do is bring it out like that, and just bring it, whoopsie, bring it round, and bring it up like that. That is the most beautiful pastry. Now, what I'm going to do is lift it. You need to lift it up. Lift it up. Really lift. And turn it around. So when you lift it, he's just taken my tea towel away. I want it. Right, we're going to take this. Now, do you know making these tarts, you get some pastry going in like that. Now, it's really important that you try and avoid that if possible. Let that go. There we go. And I'll show you how to do it. There we go. Right, now, what you're going to do, thank you. What you're going to do, can you get me the cream as well, please? Thank you. I'm going to now take, you can see this. Now, please be careful if you're using something like this, because it's not funny. You don't want to make what you don't want to do is make a thing in it, a little bit of you don't want to make a little hole in it. So, I want to make sure that I absolutely get in to the edges. Now, make sure it gets in. Now, I need to show you in a minute what I mean by that. So, it doesn't lift off. There we go. Perfect. Now,
Oh, we've definitely got. Can you please slow down?
will do.
Literally slow down because people are.
No, I have a cup of tea. Right, I'm just going to take this off. So I take the excess a little bit, but not too much. There we go. Don't worry. I'll take, I promise you, I'll take my time. There we go. Off we go. It's so good. There we go. Now, you can freeze this pastry. Now, what I did earlier is because we'll probably have a little bit of mixture left over, and I made myself now because I thought, well, I'll help people.
We need to have a recap.
Yeah, don't worry. Right. Now. Right, what I've done is, to make the pastry, I put in the flour, the butter. I should have then done the icing sugar, but it doesn't matter, we rolled it in icing sugar. Then I put in 2 egg yolks, and then I put in about 2 tablespoons of cold water. Now, and then I just kneaded it till it was soft. And now what I've done is I folded it into half, then I folded it into a quarter, and I found the central bit, and then I opened it up again. Now, it's actually, I'm now going to put it in the oven. Now, at this stage, I would normally put it in the fridge to allow it to rest. But we haven't got that luxury today. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to now take a fork, and I'm going to fork the base. Like that. Now, what that does, it stops it, it should help it not to puff up too much, all right? So there we go. That looks absolutely perfect. Going to put the greaseproof paper, which you have to scrumple up. There we go. Put it in. Fabulous. I hope some of you saw the Netflix program, the best ever takeaways, the best takeaways. Oh, it's fabulous. Right. Now, it was such fun doing it. Inside here, you can use baking beans, whatever. Or you can just use butter beans, and you just keep them for this purpose. I always use this rice. So I pour the rice in. Now, the reason why I do that, there's a very good reason, is because what happens, you get it so it goes right into the corners. Okay, so there's no, whoopsie, letting up. That's it, just go take it right in. Now, that is holding the sides back. And that's what you want to do. You want something that's going to hold the sides back. But don't worry if you haven't. Now, at this point, I'm going to pop it in the oven for 20 minutes. It could take a little bit longer because it's not cold. Now, it will shrink a bit, so that's why I've left a bit of the shrinkage there. So I'm going to put it straight into the oven now.
So just to confirm, you've left it over the edge because it will shrink a bit.
Definitely. It will shrink probably more than if you put it in the fridge.
So at home, please
So
make
at
sure.
home, yes, so please, yes, absolutely. Make sure you've got it over the edge so it's got room to shrink. I'm going to just go and pop it in the oven. Right, that's the...
Did you crumple the paper first?
Yes, I did crumple the paper first, but the reason for doing that is because then you can shape it. If you try and put greaseproof paper straight in without crumpling it, it's impossible. So you need to really crumple it up so you can get it in. So it's really cool. Now, that is done. Now, that's not difficult. Now, at this point, I'm just going to knead these in, because what I did earlier here, just to show you, I made a little tart there, which actually I'm going to pop in the oven, I think. Popped in just like that. Yeah, it's good. I think it's sweet. Just so if you've got any more mixture left over, I'll just put it in. It hasn't got a base actually, so that would not be very clever if I put it in straight like that. Now I'm going to put a few beans in there as well. Go to my cupboard, get a few beans out. Use some butter beans, I think, would be nice. Just use a few beans. There we are. Now, let's put that in the oven. So, next one. That's just, if you've got any left over. I could have actually got, with what I've got left over here, I could probably get 2 tarts, which you can do and freeze. Now, there we are. I'm going to pop this on here because, you know, but you never know. It might just, it's not been unknown to actually have a little hole or crack, you never know. And it's always useful to actually have something that is, you can just plug it up, as they say, just plug it up. Now, you took my tea towel, can I have it? Thank you. Right. I thought my tea towel was in the way. No, I'm just clearing up. Right, so there we go. Now, that was not difficult. So, if you're doing this in a normal way, what you would do is, you would actually have put that into the fridge for about 20 minutes and then put it in the oven. So, it's mixture time. This is the exciting part. Mixture. Now, all this is, can I just tell you, all this is a lemon custard. Basically, that's what it is. Lemon tart is a lemon custard. Now, what plays a very, very important part in this is the actual, what are we doing here? We're just trying to do something. Okay. I'm losing my track of mind. This is very important, the size of the eggs. Now, the size of the eggs is critical because it's got in the recipe 2 medium eggs. Now, I have only got large eggs here. There we go. I've only got large. So, what do? It's got 5 medium in your recipe. I'm going to take one of those eggs out and I'm going to put 2 egg yolks instead of 1. That's all you have to think about because eggs, if you can imagine, eggs range from between 53 and 56, and then 63, then 63 to 73, then 73 upwards to about 80 to the very large. Now, so that's a huge difference. I keep on going on about this, and this is why, really, eggs, it's better when they're weighed, because then you know what you're doing. So I prefer weighing eggs, but, you know, this is 5 medium eggs, but it's a lot of eggs. So it's an egg and lemon tart. God, I love this. Right, so let's go for it. Let's put, I'm going to use this one actually. Let's put whole eggs in. Now this is for the person. Okay, so 1. So if you open it up, okay, you can do it with one hand if you want. You just do that, all right? So what you want to do is separate one as well. So what I might do is, if I take this once, and then I literally go like that, and all I do is, and I put it into my hand, like that, in. That's my egg yolk. But I'm going to have to get another egg yolk. Actually, I think that's enough, you know. I'm going to leave it 1 egg yolk, because these are large eggs, so we really don't need any more. So basically, I've cut a whole egg out, and more. So, that goes into the bin. So, whisk. Now, I want you to be quite, I'm going to turn this on actually. I want you to turn your water on if you're doing kumquats. Just turn the water on, just a big pan of water. That's all you have to do, nothing else. Okay. Now, so we're going to take this and we're going to whisk up the eggs. Now, it's trying to be, look at the colour of these. They're amazing. That's incredible. They're so yellow. Yes, they are. They're organic. They're not. They're the Burr ones. They're wonderful. Look, I always buy these. They were Burford Browns. They're lovely. And I buy the farm eggs as well. I've got 2 trays coming tomorrow of local eggs, which I love. Now, pop this in. And really whisk well. Don't be shy. That's perfect. Now about scrambled eggs, let me just tell you about scrambled eggs. If you're making scrambled eggs, you whisk them more. If you're making omelettes, you don't whisk them nearly as much. So whisk them differently. I'm going to do an egg thing at one day. Now, here we go. We're going to now put in the sugar. Sugar in. I use the Billington soft brown sugar because I love it. Whisk.
Are the eggs supposed to be light by the time?
No, they're not. They're not supposed to be light at all. They're just meant to be, there we are, up there. Now look, I'm going to just show you, you're going to think I'm mad as a hatter, but it's fine. When you whisk, it's always better to whisk so you're whisking the whole bowl. Do you see? You sort of loosen your wrist. There we are, it's done. Now, this point, now I don't know, hands up who've already done your lemon juice. Hope so. But don't worry if you haven't. Now, I'm going to now add lemon juice. Oh. I'm also going to add the zest of the 3 lemons that I put in. So I've got the zest of 3 lemons and the juice of 3 lemons. Now, I have a little feeling, can somebody pass me that? The cream. I have a feeling, I'm just going to put some cream in here. Thank you. Oopsie, I'm just going to...
Just a question, sorry. What was, just a reminder, what is the first 2 ingredients in the pastry?
Right, the first...
And the amount.
Okay, the first 2 ingredients are 200 grams of plain flour and 110 grams of butter.
Did you put sugar in?
I forgot to put the sugar in, so that's why I rolled it in the sugar. Have you just arrived?
Yes.
Right, don't worry about it. You do then put the sugar in once you've made the breadcrumbs out of the butter and the flour. So, and then you put the sugar in. Then what we did was we put 2 egg yolks in, and then we added 2 tablespoons of cold water. So we'll wait for you, don't worry. Now, that's my mixture. That's my eggy custard. So, now, the most important part about this, as far as I'm... Now, some people don't. Some people like to have the bits in. So rather like orange juice and things like this, some people like the bits in. I do like bits in orange juice sometimes, but I don't like the bits in my lemon tart. So all I'm going to do is do that. Just let it go through for a minute. There we go. There's my mixture. That's all it is. So I'll just put that here. Wash my hands. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Did you all have joy with your ragu? Did you all enjoy your ragu? I do hope so. I really hope. It was lovely, wasn't it?
Sorry, how long is the pastry in the oven?
About 20 minutes. 20 to 25. I'm going to have a little look at it in a minute. It's been in about 10 minutes really now. So I will just have a little peep now, just see how quickly it's going. So, okay, I'm actually going to change it and put it on the top oven. Okay, it's at 150, it's at 200, is it? No, it's meant to be at 200, right. Okay, so, well, I'm going to leave it down there. So you need to have it at 200, as I said, 200 Celsius, okay? The reason being is because it needs to cook quickly. And secondly, having it too low, it takes too long because it's soft pastry. Normally, the person who's just come on the scene, normally I would have said, put your pastry into the fridge, leave it there for about 20 minutes. But what we've done is we've done it straight away. And for that, it needed to go into quite a hot oven. So we've got our
cream going.
Yep, I'm going to take them through it again now with that. So, here we go.
Could we have a recap?
Yeah, I'm just about...
The eggs with the sugar.
I'm just about to do that now. You got in before I even mentioned it now. So what we've done is we have put in eggs. And as I said, I actually put in more eggs because, and less eggs because mine were large. So I didn't want to have so many large eggs. So basically I put in 4 eggs and 1 egg yolk, which is plenty enough if you've got large. If If you've got medium, it's a different matter, okay? So you have your 5 medium. I then put in 180 grams of sugar, and I then put in, and I whisked it all up together. I put in then the lemon juice and the zest. Pop that in because I love the flavour of the zest, it's great. Then I put in the cream, which is 150 mils of cream. I've then put it through a fine sieve, and here it is, the mixture, the eggy custard mixture is perfect, it's delicious. Absolutely, in fact I might even just have a little taste. Hang on, just have a little taste. Sorry, only a little taste. Oh, it's delicious. That is yummy, absolutely yummy. So that's ready to go in when my tart pastry comes out. So this is not difficult. This is an easy tart for Christmas, I think. But what I've done is I've upped it. I've elevated it slightly. Because it's Christmas, we need to do that. So you can either, once it's cooked or once it's cold, you can either put a caramel or put some icing sugar and let's blowtorch the top. Or what I've done is I've done some kumquats. I'm going to do some kumquats. Now, kumquats are in season, otherwise I wouldn't have used them. I got this from our local farm shop. They had them in Tesco's and Sainsbury's. But I think the best thing is they weren't actually as easy to get as other stuff is easy. But it's good to know how to do it, I think. So the first thing you have to do, I've got 12 here. I've only done 12. You cut them in half. Tell me to stop if you need me to stop. I will. I'm trying so hard to go slowly. I'm going to have a look at that tart in a minute. Did I hear that you put it onto 200? Okay, right. I'm going to move the tart up to the oven above. Whew. Right. Right, it's going to need, I think, at least another 10 minutes, at least. So we got lots of time on our hands. Time to make my cocktails. I'm going to have a cocktail. I've still got a cup of tea. I have to have a cup of tea and a cocktail. That's being a bit indulgent, isn't it?
Why does it need a hotter oven if it's not been in the fridge for 20 minutes?
Because if it's too low, the butter will seep out more easily. Okay? Now, here we go. Here we go. Now, the kumquats. What is the most important thing about a kumquat is you have to get rid of its acidity, otherwise it won't be very nice. It'd be horrible, actually. So you don't eat the insides. I had a kumquat tree up until last year, and it was full of kumquats. It was big, about 5 foot tall, but it died on me. I was really upset. It died.
Actually, a very important question.
Yes?
If people couldn't find the kumquats,
Yes.
and they're using raspberries,
Okay.
are they starting now with the raspberries?
No, they aren't. The raspberries are something else. What you could do is, you need to, with the raspberries, it will be slightly different. You're not making, unless you want to make a little compote of raspberries. If you want to make a little compote of raspberries, what I would suggest you do is put a little bit of sugar in with your raspberries, and basically either liquidize them or mix them all up to make a bit of a coulis or a sauce. Because this is specific. Or if you were going to do something like this, and it's a bit high-end in terms of the technique's a bit high-skilled in a way, but some of you might be able to do it, is you would get fine julienne, which is very fine slices of orange or lemon. You would then do it in exactly the same way as I'm doing this, put them into boiling water and then refresh them 3 times. And then you'd make a caramel and put it into there. So that is the same technique, more or less. This is like a confit of kumquat. So you can either do it with them, but I didn't want to give you that alternative in the recipe because I think that makes it more complicated for you, but you can do it. You can do it. But if you haven't got it, you can just watch me how to prepare kumquats. So that's fine. Now, the first thing you've got to do is to remove the inside of a kumquat, like this. They are quite fiddly. Got to have the patience. So you just got to go. So I'll spend time. If anybody wants to ask me any questions while we're all doing this, do. That would be fantastic. Keep going. Do. And I've been thinking about Christmas Day, what I'm going to cook on Christmas Day. And I think I know now. I think I know. But what I am going to do, I'm not going to do so much this year because I've decided to keep it quite simple. Because and also it's more difficult. And I don't want any waste. I phoned my daughter up and she told me that she still had turkey left in her freezer from last year. She asked me if I wanted to use it, and I did say categorically no. I didn't want to use last year's thing, so it was quite funny though. But why not? If you're strapped, why not? I think anything goes really, as far as I'm concerned. Right, here we go. I'm being really butterfingers with this, but you do need to do this because there's one thing you do not want. It's rather taking the inside of preserved lemons and things like that. You have to take the inside out.
So how much sugar do you add to the pastry?
You add 100 sugar to the pastry. 50 grams of icing sugar or caster. I tend to use icing, but it's fine. There we are. Now, what we have to do with this, we have got to now put it into boiling water for 3 times. So we boil it, bring it out, refresh, boil it, bring it out, and that will take its bitterness away. And make it better to eat. How many of you have ever tried an orange and put don't try this at home for goodness sake, but how many of you have tried an orange and actually zest it and then put a match to it? That's what you need to get rid of, the oil. You need to get rid of the oil in the kumquat itself. Right, we're getting there, guys, we're getting there. I hope you're not being as sort of clap-handed as this. Cack-handed, I should say, not clap-handed. Cack-handed. Right, so we're going to pop this in. There we go.
Any ideas what you could do with preserved lemons?
Oh yes, with meat, with lamb, with ragu, with stews. I use them quite a lot. Listen, I need to just pop this in. I'll tell you about that in a minute. This is going to go into boiling water, like that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just put some cold water into here. Right, it's cold. Bring this up to the boil. It's going to come. No, I use preserved lemons a lot in my tangine, in my casseroles. Lovely with oxtail, believe it or not. Really delicious. Really. Oh, let me just take this out. I just want to check this actually. Okay, perfect. Now, I need to just... I've got 2 things happening at once here. I need to just do this first. So I need to just take out the kumquats for the first one, pop it into there. Don't want to cook them anymore in that. In the cold water, yes, straight into the cold water. Now, I need to remove this. Okay, so, perfect. Look at that. Now, I need to put it back into the oven now for another at least 5 minutes, at least. So let's do that. It's looking spot on. Yeah, it's looking absolutely spot on. So in we go. Right, now, next lot. I'm now going to pop these in for the second boil. It's not a faff, really. It really isn't. People say it's such a faff. It's not. It's just to get rid of those oils. Normally, people will say to me, why aren't you using clean water? The reason why, because it's still going to get the oils out. It won't make any difference. It's still there. There's too much water in there not to be able to do that. So I'm just saving my time doing it, that's all. It's fine. So it's just bringing it to the boil, and I'm going to put it back into cold water again.
We've got a question. What is that a pinch of that you put in the boiling water with the kumquat?
I didn't put a pinch of anything.
No?
No, I think you saw the icing sugar that I happened to have on one of the kumquats that fell in. Good, but well done for watching. Wow. You don't miss a trick, you lot. You don't miss a trick. Right, let's go for it. Come on, guys. Second one, boiling away. Out we come. Cold water. In we go. In we go. Right. Right, so final one. Ta-dum. Final one. Ta-da. In we go. Now, I promise you, I better take that little one out actually. That's probably done by now. While that's just coming up to heat, let me just take that little tart out, the extra one, in case I had some mixture left over. Right, okay.
So are we saying that they need to take the baking parchment
Out, yes.
out now?
Yes, now.
Yes.
There's my tart. So I'm going to put this back now for another 5 minutes. Right, I'm now going to, what I'm going to be doing is turn that oven down actually in a minute. So, final one, they're boiling. So final cold water, and I'm there. Okay, I hope you're all following me okay. Here we are, out. And that's done. Now, let's just leave that in there for a minute. Okay, now, turn this off. Actually, I'll leave it on, I think, because I'm going to need it for something else in a minute. Right, I'm just going to clear up a little bit before we go any further. Can't be a mess at the table. Okay, there we go. Just put it behind me, it doesn't matter. Right, so I'm now going to take this off. Have I got an extra bowl? No, I haven't. So I'll put it in one of these. Yeah. So I'm going to take these out. These are cooled down now. Here we go. Squeeze and pop it into a bowl.
Sorry, someone's just asked for a refresher. Why are you taking the oils out?
Right, because why I'm taking the oils, it's because it's bitter. What happens is the actual skins of any orange or anything like tangerine, orange, kumquats, it's always bitter. So what makes it is makes it deliciously fresh. So that's why I do it. Right, the next stage. We've done our kumquat there. You can see that, remove that, because that doesn't look very nice. I'm now going to put some sugar into this pan. It's about 100 mils of sugar, something like that. So I'm now going to put a tiny bit of water in there. Rather than putting it into a dry pan, I'm putting it straight in with a little bit of water. Because I think it's actually easier. There we are. Here, and turn it down low. That's it, and just bring it up. So, now how are we getting on? We've got our kumquats here. We've got our delicious mixture, our eggy lemon custard there. My tea here. I don't think I'm going to drink it. I'm going to get on the cocktails in a minute. Right, so I've got to get on to this now. Nearly. Do you know what? This will give you time to actually catch up. I'm not going to take it out just yet. I'm going to give it another 4 minutes. So, and then I'm going to do something I never normally do. I'm actually then going to pour the mixture into the tart. Now, normally, It's always normally tonight, which I've gone against the grain completely tonight. But really, if you're in a hurry and, you know, you needed a quick tart, this is fine. Do it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mixture straight in to the tart and put it back in the oven. But in saying that, I'm going to turn the oven down to 150. Now, if you've got fan assisted, Secotham, fan assisted, you could turn it down to 140. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a bit jammy today. I'm going to put it at 150, then turn it down to 140 after 15 minutes, because I really want it to get going quite reasonably quickly. On the other hand, I don't want to scramble the egg either. So it's a sort of fine line. But stick with me and you'll be all right, okay? Now, I think I've done it. By George, I have done it. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. Now, so I'm going to take it down to 150. There we go. It's now 150. So, here we go.
Question, what are the egg whites?
The egg whites, I'm just about to do that now. You're not missing a trick, you lot, today, which is so cool. Right, we're just going to boil up this sugar. I'm just boiling it up to the boil. Right, okay, the egg whites are for now. If I can find a brush. Where's my egg white brush? That's the egg white. Now, the reason for doing that is because it seals all that thing in. I'm going to put it back for about 30 seconds. Just,
So the egg whites
it's to seal it.
to seal the pastry
Mm-hmm.
and then back in.
Yeah, just a minute. Just a minute. Now, before I'm just making, I'm letting it caramelize before I add the orange to it. So this is the sugar. It will caramelize in a minute. So we'll just leave it be. So we're nearly ready. It really won't take long to do. Leave that. You can use that. Egg whites are great frozen. They're absolutely terrific frozen. So just put them in the freezer and use them for meringues, for anything, for all sorts of things, believe it or not. Right. When I say improvise, you can improvise on all sorts of things. Here we go. Now, are you with me? Okay, perfect. Right, I think we should be ready now. Yep, we're done. And it doesn't matter if you can see that little bit of white. There we go. That's perfect. In fact, what I'm going to do is just go like that. Now, here we go. Right, at that point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop it in the oven, open it. Actually, I better just do this. Take this off. I know it's a bit jammy having two ovens. I know it's a bit jammy. Very few questions this evening. Very few questions. Are you catching up? I'm going very slowly. Now, okay, I'm now going to finish. I'm just going to finish a little bit more. I'm just going to put this in. Bear with me for 1 minute, guys. I'm just going to finish it up because the very top bit. Oh, actually, do you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to do that because you know what is going to happen. I'm going to spill it all because when you're in a hurry. So I'm now going to take this little tart, just a little bit left over. Perfect. And I'm going to pop that. We'll chop it at the sides later. Pop that in the oven. Oopsie. pop that in. There we go. Now, that's in for about 30 minutes.
Just asking, what are we doing with the sugar and the water?
Right, what you're doing now, I want to show it to you. Hang on. Can you see? Right, on this, we're making a caramel. See that? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla to this. So all I did was, there we are,
Just quickly, how long is the tart going on for?
30 minutes. 30 minutes. There we go. We're just going to boil that. I normally would have stirred that while pouring it in. Stir it while pouring your orange in, please. It'll go, but just stir it. Right, we'll just bring it up to the boil. So it boils. Getting the smells like me. Oh, it's delicious. Right, it'll be an orange syrup. Now what I'm going to do, bring that up, just bring it to the simmer. See that? I hope you like vanilla. I'm now going to put in my kumquats, okay? We're going to cook them off in the syrup. So, now the wonderful thing about these kumquats, cooking these off now like this, is the fact is you can use them for any decoration, absolutely anything at all. I mean, it's fantastic. It's quite a big one. I love it. I genuinely love Nelson Massey stuff because this particular paste, it has all the little bits of vanilla, so you don't, they do come in smaller bottles, so you don't actually have to do the little lengths, the pods, because they're jolly expensive, the pods. I think it's cheaper to do that. Now, yes, far away.
What would be your chosen 3 course?
Okay, what would be my chosen 3-course meal? Gosh, that's a different. All right. Scallops to begin with. Scallops done my way, just very simple with lemon and thyme and just really simple. Oh, absolutely adore it. Then lobster fettuccine. I love lobster fettuccine. I absolutely adore it. And then I think for pudding, pistachio souffle. Not for the faint-hearted. Now I've got time to make a cocktail. Okay, wow. I hope you're all going to join me. So,
Why did you pick this cocktail?
well, because I love it. Look, but I didn't pick it because a lot of people don't like it, but I absolutely adore it. And I think it's, for me, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cocktail. And so I thought, well, why not? We're going to have time. I thought, while the kumquats are cooking, the tart is cooking, I would sit down because everything's gone really smoothly. And may I tell you, I do hope now this moment also should give you time to catch up. So if you are behind and if you have only just put your tart in, please don't worry, because it doesn't have to come out when I'm still on. You can just, as long as you know what it's meant to be like. When you're looking at a lemon tart, a custard lemon tart, it needs a wobble. The wobble is imperative. If it doesn't have a wobble, then it's going to slightly go over. Now, I'm going to slightly contradict myself. I slightly cooked mine a little bit longer, but there was a specific reason, because I wanted to put the kumquats on top, because it needs to be a little heavier, because if it's my light, really light lemon tart, it wouldn't be able to carry those kumquats quite as much. So just be aware that only 3 minutes longer, that's all you need, really, three to 4 minutes at the most. Now,
Should this cocktail have sugar on the top?
no. Well, at least I don't know. I'm not an expert. I need a mixologist to come in one day and do it with me. But actually, I don't think why, because I'm going to tell you, I don't like terribly sweet cocktails. You can tell by using all this. I really don't. But what I have done is I put a little dried orange thing in there, so you can dip it in if you want. Now, I've got, actually this is new. This was got for me the other day. I love my, I love this shaker. I have had this, look, I've had that for nearly 50 years. Oh, God. I just told you, 50 years. Yes, it was a wedding present. Oh dear, don't even go there. Don't even go there, boy. Now, here we go. Oh, I've still got a lot of life in the old girl yet. Now, gin. Now, gin. Now, we are going to have a competition next week with the with the bathtub gin. So, anybody, I think you're going to have 2 of those. Now, I have to use this because I make it so strong, you see. Right, I'm now going to put in this Campari. Oop. Okay, now that's done. I'm now going to put in some martini. I'm not an expert, but it's great. A little bit martini. Gosh, this will put hairs on your chest, won't it? Right, here we go. I'm now going to put in some orange juice. Now, I know this is, people don't do it, because I went to an Italian not so long ago, and I said, please put orange juice in it. They use fresh orange to get decoration. Now, so I'm going to put in, what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain the old orange.
Just to say, you put 2 parts gin, 1 Campari,
Yeah,
and 1 martini.
yes.
Are
And
these large or doubles, or are they singles?
they'll do me beautifully. Right, okay. So that's it. Okay.
All orange, is it?
I've just put some fresh orange juice in. I'd normally squeeze it. Right. Well, I thought we're having a bit of orange tonight, orange and lemon. Why not keep the theme going? Woo, help. Right. Now, here goes. Hang on, I've never done this. How'd you do? How hard? What'd you do? What'd you do? Oh!
Go on, tuck it, unfortunately.
Hang on.
That's it, go on, hard. Tuck it at the top.
I'm not sure. I'm a bit worried about. They sort of go. Can't open it now. I can't open it. Sorry. Oh dear. Oh, thank you. Okay, so, right. Sorry about that, everybody. I did try. So here we go. Oh. Okay, that's me later. Right, okay, so. Right, let me have a go. Oh, it's delicious. Oh, I love it. Do you know what I love? I love that Campari, that martini coming through. I love it. I love it. Oh, don't worry, I'll have it all. Nobody else wants to do that. I don't ever do that. But it's delicious. Come on, I deserve it, don't I? Okay, let's shove this out of the way. Right. It is nice. I'm going to make everybody one later, don't worry. So that looks better anyway with it being full. So you have to, oh no, that's how you do. You pour it, put it back and you, oh yeah, okay. I'll do that next time. Right, so let's have a check. Now what I'm going to do is check the wobble. Obviously, it's not going to wobble. So now we're going to talk about the one I've done earlier. Because there's no point in, we're going to wait for that to come out, don't worry. Now, there's the kumquats, which they're done. Can you see that? What they've done is, let me have a show you. Let me have a look. Look. Aren't they lovely? How lovely for Christmas. How delicious to do some kumquat syrup, okay? Even with chocolate cake. Now, what I'm going to do is cut this open for you and have a little look at it, okay? Now, the other thing is, obviously I've been a bit of a numpty because I've gone and, right. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Now that I'm all butterfingers today. I've got butterfingers. Right, so that is, now look, it's got a wobble on it. And it's so beautiful. Look, if you can make it, look at this. If you made it really pretty like that, how gorgeous does that look? Now look, that for Christmas would be absolutely beautiful. To me, it's so simple to do. It's so easy. Let me have a little taste. Just the corner. Oh, it's delicious. Wow. Okay, here goes. Look at the wobble on it. Oh. That is divine. What I want you to do, that, and curiously, that with the kumquats, that with the whole thing going on here, is utterly, utterly delicious. I must say, I really hope you're going to enjoy this. But let's get the other one out first. I don't want you to go until you've got yours out. Can you please let us know how far you off? How far are you off on getting yours out? Can you please let us know? Anything?
They've got, some people have got orange segments still left, so is there anything they can to do with them? And also, I think we want to ask for pictures and
Oh yes, I'm going to sit down for 1 minute. Please, can we have lots of pictures? And also, can I ask you, will you share? Please share, because sharing is really important. Tell everybody, because this is not going to go away, my cooking along. I'm having such fun doing it. I love doing it. I really do. But also, I think for me, it's a lovely way to give back, and also just to show you how to do things properly. Except people do tease me and say there's the wrong way, there's the right way, and there's the rosemary way. They're probably right. But you know, you always get that because I'm very, I'm stringent. I'm very stringent when it comes to patisserie. But actually in cooking, I sort of am quite lax and I let things go. And also, I know what it's like to have a family. I know what it's like to not have things in the house and you do alternative stuff. You know, I think it's perfectly all right. And I think that's what you have to be able to adapt and do all that. And that's where I think I can really help people. I've been around a long time. And I feel that, yeah, I feel very strong about this and I love it. And I'm enjoying getting all your responses. I'm enjoying getting everything about it, the whole thing. It really works for me. And do let me know if you are enjoying it. And please let me know if there's any criticism, because, you know, bring it on. I can cope with it. I can take it. I can take it. I promise you. But if there's anything you particularly want. Now, next week, I've got Levois coming. Some of you will know Levois. we're going to call it the Queens of the Kitchen, which we used to be together, two Queens of the Kitchen. And I'm going to teach Lavoie how to make 3 canapes with phyllo pastry. Christmas month, you've got your lovely tart that you can do for Christmas. So next week it's canapes, and the week after I'm going to be doing some stuffing, some red cabbage, and also stuffing, bread sauce. So basically, I'm going to say get ahead for Christmas so you can put it all in the freezer, because you don't have to wait till the last minute. Just put it in the freezer. Just get it done in advance so you don't have to think about it. And that is the trick. There is nothing worse than having to shop for all this stuff at the last minute. It's great if you can get it done. It's a tick. It's a little tick. And that tick becomes a big tick because it takes up a lot of your time otherwise. I think it's really difficult. So any questions now? Any questions at all? Anything specific you'd like me to do? I'm just waiting for this tart to finish because I really want to take my tart out to make before I leave. But it's so not far off.
Sophie and Hadley have said fabulous cocktail recipe.
Well, I have to tell you, Sophie and Hadley are pretty cool. They are my neighbours and they love their cocktails like me. So I think for me, it's lovely to have some kindred spirits nearby, very nearby, which is brilliant.
That's a question.
Yes?
What is the perfect way to cook a goose?
That is not a silly question. It is the perfect question. The total perfect question. Now, there's a lot of fat in goose. Okay, so the first thing you really need to do, I always do, is cook a goose upside down to begin with. First of all, I sear it in a dry pan because there's a lot of fat in there, a lot. I also just softly, just so without butter, without oil, without anything. Then I just put it in the oven for about, depends on how big the goose is actually.
Also, a very important lemon tart question.
Yes.
Young Marie Chantel has got a question, which is, oh goodness, my tart looks like soup. What do I do?
Well, it's not cooked yet. Don't worry. It's because it's not cooked yet. So she has to leave it in there for longer.
Keep it in the oven.
Please don't worry about it. If it's soup, and if I've gone, just keep patient. Do you know what? I will stay here until all your soufflés have come out in the oven if you want. I honestly, how many people are cooking with us? Lemon tarts, I mean. How many people are cooking with us?
We have over 50.
That's brilliant. So over 50 people. Right. Okay. Well, I think that is stunningly wonderful. So I think the best thing is, as soon as your tart is out, I want you to give thumbs up. All right? So we will make sure that you've all got your thumbs up, because what I don't want to do is leave you in the lurch.
Back to the goose.
Back to goose. So what we do is we're going to, so then I cook the goose about half an hour, not for that long, on its breasts. Then I turn it over and I just leave it. Now I would leave it for about an hour and a half, more, maybe less, actually about an hour. Depends how big it is, but I think what you need to do, which I don't like cooking goose for a long, long time, because I like my goose to be quite sort of, not pink, not rare, nothing like that. It needs to be a little pink. You either kill it or you have it pink, one or the other. So just about an hour and a half, I would imagine. 2 hours at the most, about 2 hours, yes. So I would just get yourself a thermometer. This is a little Christmas present to yourself. Put your thermometer into the goose, and when it comes up to 60, it's cooked. 60 on the legs and 60 on the breast, okay? Just do that. Give yourself a little present, a thermometer to actually do it. 60, 55 to, well, I do 60 Celsius, okay? Any more questions?
Yes, actually, firstly, how do you make the perfect gravy?
Ah, now that's a good question. The perfect gravy is, in my book, you have to get something done in advance, which is a good stock. A good stock, and actually I use deglaze with red wine as well. So what you do, you prepare your stock in advance, get it in the freezer. Get a chicken or a leftover chicken, or do that and get it and render it down. Now you've got that already finished. When you come to do your gravy, and you're doing on Christmas Day, I actually very rarely do an actual gravy on Christmas Day because I normally do a sauce in advance. But you've got, if you want to do your gravy, you just deglaze your pan with red wine or whatever you want to do. Red wine is fine. And then, or port. And then you put, if you want to put a little bit of flour in there, shove a little bit of flour or roux. I normally put a tiny bit of roux in there, equal quantities of, depends on the quantity of butter and flour, and you just put that and make it thicker. And then I add a very good stock. Now I don't know those people who saw me last night. Last week. I also put a little bit of browning in to give it a good colour, really nice dark colour. So I put a little bit of that, about a teaspoon of that in. So that'll give me my colour that I'm looking for. But if you can do a sauce in advance, a really delicious red wine jus, it's worth doing it. Just prep it up in advance, get your red wine jus, get the whole thing finished off, and just bung it in the freezer. But I think getting a good stock in advance, and so just recap, when you just deglaze your pan, after you take the turkey out, all the thing out, just deglaze it with red wine, put your bit of roux in, make it a little bit thicker, and then you can pour your stock in and really boil it up, and then strain it. That'll make a really good gravy. One thing you need to do is, though, get rid of the fat in there. I just pour the fat off, okay? But it's those gorgeous turkey flavors that are all in there, from the stuffing, from the turkey itself. So you don't want to waste those beautiful flavors. You really don't. So do the stock in advance and you'll have a perfect thing. Now, my mother always used to use, I hated it, vegetable water. Now, okay, there's nothing wrong in vegetable water because we all used to do that. Even I did that. But it's so much nicer if you've got a bit of time just to do a bit of stock, shove it in your freezer and do it. Okay? But if you can't, your vegetable water will be just as good. But no, it won't be just as good. It won't be.
We have a question. Could you, we've made a lemon tart. What about a savoury tart?
Yes, if you want to do a savoury tart. Okay, what you've got to think about is, I'm making a lemon tart as a lemon custard, right? So, funnily enough, I'm just about to do a YouTube one, which is going to be a fresh salmon tart, which is done with just cream and eggs, as usual thing, but using salmon and tarragon. Delicious. I do a lovely, like a quiche, like a Mediterranean tart. Delicious, delicious. So absolutely. All you've got to know is how it's going to set. Setting of it is very, very important. I'm just going to look at my thing again. But yes, I will do a tart.
I was very interested. Lily Mee had a crack at a Swiss roll today,
Yeah.
and unfortunately it cracked quite a bit. Any thoughts on how to stop your Swiss roll?
Yes, first of all, when you're doing a Swiss roll, the most important thing is you always put it on, there's a damp cloth underneath. You put the greaseproof paper on top of a damp cloth. That's quite important. That will help it not to crack as much. All right, so put it on that damp cloth and then you can roll it up slowly. Just roll it up. Very good question. And that will help it a lot. The other thing is, sometimes you can overcook it. And it can be too dry and too stiff. So that would be another reason why. Now, don't forget, if the ends crack up, it doesn't matter because you're going to cut those off anyway. So it's all to do with the inside. So how you're going to do it and what you're going to do with that inside. So,
Is there something you could put over a Swiss roll to hide the cracking?
well, yes, if you've got the cracks in it, you've kept the Swiss roll. I didn't know you kept it. So if you do, just put some cream over the top. People will know none the wiser. You know, you could put some mascarpone, whisked up mascarpone in some cream or something, and cinnamon, lots of cinnamon, depends what it is. So just put a thin, not too thick, but thin layer of sort of cream all over. and and put a fork over it, and make it into a bit of a log. That's what I would do, something like that. But don't throw it away. No, it'd be delicious, absolutely delicious. What have you put in your Swiss roll? I'll be interested to know.
Amanda Tolan has a very interesting
Oh,
question.
what's that?
If you were having a drinks party, obviously COVID aware, how many types and numbers of canapes would you serve per person?
Right. I allow 2 canapes per person. I allow sometimes 1. It depends on the quantity we're going to have. But if you say you've got 7 cold and 7 warm, well, you wouldn't give them 2 each. You'd just give them 1 each. If you've got 3 of each, I would then take enough for 2 each, because you'll know some people won't have any, some people will have more than 2. So to balance it out. So 2 each, depending on obviously how many. If you've got a choice of 3 of each set, so I would just 3 hot, 3 cold. So I'd definitely do that. How are you, Amanda? I hope you're doing well. Where are you living these days? It's so lovely to hear from you. Really nice, really nice. But do share this, Amanda. Share, tell everybody about it, even your friends in Hong Kong. Tell everybody about it, please. We're trying.
We've got as you like pistachios.
Love pistachios.
Also, your cake recently on Facebook was very good.
Yes.
Do you have a good veggie stuffing recipe that uses them?
No, but you can use, when you're doing, for instance, a chestnut stuffing and onion stuffing and bread, you can put loads of pistachios in. So you can do it that way. So definitely change your nuts around and use pistachio, whatever you're doing. Absolutely delicious. I love it. And leave them whole. Definitely leave them whole, because I like, when I'm cutting things like that, I like to cut the actual pistachios. How are we doing for time, guys?
You're doing okay.
Good.
Lily Nee's come back and actually said she made a chocolate Swiss roll with a melted chocolate and cream filling. Wow.
Oh, so you did a ganache filling. Okay, so you did a ganache filling. So delicious. That'll be perfect with a lovely mascarpone and cream cheese over the top. How delicious. Mind you, if you're eating it tonight, you probably won't have it in. Right, supermarkets are still open. Mind you, Strictly's Strictly's on, isn't it? So you probably wouldn't want to miss Strictly. So, but good. These are good questions tonight. My goodness me, keep them coming. Really good questions. Keep coming. I'm just drinking. I'm enjoying this. So my last gig here will be on the 19th, I think it is. I think it's the 19th. And then we'll be having a break until the 9th of January. 9th of January, we start again. So this time we will do healthy food. No cocktails. No cocktails. I'm only doing this because of Christmas. Off the alcohol. That's it. Zingo. And but really good food. That's what I'm going to do. So I hope we're going to have lots of people following me. And also, don't forget my Netflix series. You've got to watch it. It's so good. Well, I don't know whether it's going to be. So actually, I can't say that because I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. But I do know I loved making it, and I loved Jackie and David, my 2 hosts, who were so funny. Jackie is the funniest person. She's a comedian. She is very talented. And David, who just loves his food so much, and he's very funny. He's very funny. We all got on really, really well, and we just had a really good time. So please do tune in and do watch it, because it really is good. It really is. It's a fun program. Best leftovers ever, and by George, they really are the best leftovers ever. I tell you, I couldn't believe some of them, what they delivered to us. Unreal, just unreal.
People so interestingly, people are firstly worried about your tart as it been in there for a while, and secondly, we've got a lot of wet tarts at the moment.
Well, they're not cooked yet. They're not cooked. If they're still wet, they're not cooked. Let me show you mine. Oh, mine's nearly ready. Oh, hang on, the top one might be ready actually. Oh yes, hang on. Mine's nearly ready. Okay, mine is nearly. This is the top. This is ready. Look at this. Oh, this is lovely. Look at that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this. Here we are. Let me get this. So, I'm going to show you how to do this. Get this off.
We got an interesting question actually. Lynn Steely
Yes.
is asking. She's making a strawberry Charlotte Russe.
Yes, a roost.
For Xmas.
Yes.
Would it be okay to soak the lady fingers in sherry to give an extra oomph?
No, do not soak the lady's fingers because it won't give it an ump. It will give it a slodge. The best thing to do is, with lady, if it's soak, you just drizzle it over. Then you can give it a bit of an extra thing. But seriously, do not leave it in there because it'll be horrible. Seriously, it'll go to mush. Because what happens is they disintegrate. This is hot, so I'm having great problems getting this off. Okay. So what we do is, once it's cooked, and it's all shrunk down, here we are. That was hot. That's hot. So, there we go. Now, this way this goes. Here we are. I've got to butter it, but that's all right. Not going to worry. So, now I want to show you something. Okay, now, have a look. Have a look at how, that's how I make my pies. Have a look at how neat that bottom is. It doesn't go at a slant, it goes really neat. Because I made absolutely sure that it was way in the corners, okay? Now that has got to get cold. That can't stay like that. So I'm now, it's got a bit of a wobble. Oh, it's perfect, got a bit of a wobble. Right, now I'm going to look at it. Don't worry about your tarts, don't just leave them in the oven. Keep that oven closed, okay? It'll be very wet. As long as you put all those eggs in, that's all that matters.
Actually, quick one. What about cheddar cheesecake? A sharp cheddar cheesecake.
Oh my God, this is perfection. Hang on, cheddar cheesecake. Wait a minute. Cheddar cheesecake. Delicious. Now, everybody. Okay. Now, I want to show you something. Cheddar cheesecake sounds lovely. I want to see this. Look. Here, watch this. Look at that. That's a wobble. That's what you're looking for. Can you see the wobble? Can you see the wobble?
Yes, we can see the wobble.
Okay, so there you go. Okay, everybody. That's what you're looking for. Now, okay, this time I've got to take the outsides off too now.
Plenty of time.
Oh, I'm not worried. This is actually, I think the fact is, we have done a lemon tart in this time.
We have unfortunately, it looks like Liz and Gil, who were in your castle cook in May 2002.
Yes. Oh, yes.
They actually unfortunately stopped with the pastry because it fell apart, but it won it.
Oh, that is typical. I can't believe you two. Why did it fall? Well, you should have added a bit more water, you nanas. Never mind. Never mind. Try it when you're not on with me. But it's so nice to see you. Cheers, everybody.
Oh, good question for you. How's the best way to cook beef short ribs?
Well, beef short depends what you. It depends what you're doing it for. If it's a barbecuing short ribs, you can boil it and then roast it in a lovely piquant, delicious sauce, or you could just roast it. To be honest with you, it's what finish you have on it, which is going to be the important thing. So I would say to you, make sure, decide what you're going to do, and then if it's going to be Chinesey short ribs, delicious. Just for me, I would just boil it up a little bit first, and then just put it in a lovely sauce and roast it on a high heat, and crackling delicious. I mean, you're not crackling, but delicious. just that's how you've got to do it. I mean, that's fine, but that's what I would do. Short ribs like that. Delicious. Now, I'm just going to pop this onto a grid. So, as you know, guys, I have my, ta-da! Somebody sent me this as a present so many years ago. Do you know, I absolutely adored it. I tried to bring my own range out, actually, because I thought they were the most best thing ever. And, oopsie. I'm making a terrible mess here. I've got to get the Hoover out later. Hoover. So, pop this here. Now, so, everybody, mine's done. Right, so, again, I want to show it to you. Now, look at the edges. It's these edges which are so important. Those, to get it in, so it's not coming at a slant. You've got a perfect, you want to have a straight side, and that's what I'm looking for. That straight side, and that is fine patisserie. That actually is fine patisserie. And that's what we're all looking for when we're doing patisserie, tarts, and, you know, for people in a restaurant and things. You cannot have a tart that's going in like that. You have to have a tart that's going down. And that is the trick. Anyway, that's my tart. My tart is fabulous. Now, I can't put any kumquats on yet, obviously, because it's all warm still. But I have to say, that wobble is perfection. This whole thing is utterly delicious. Terrible mess, isn't it? I mean, I cannot believe the mess I've made, everybody. This is not normal. And they're saying, oh, yes, it is. Right. Let's just clear this away, shall we? While you're clearing away yourselves, I'm going to clear away here. I want to just, that's the kumquats. There. I'm just going to put that there. Okay, there we go. Now, okay, everybody. I better put this away, that away. Right, that's better. That's more like it. So, what I've done for you in an hour, how long have we been? 1 hour?
A little bit over.
How much over?
A while.
How much? Half an hour? Nearly half an hour, 1.5 hours. Well, do you know what?
I think everyone's still with us, though.
Are you still with us? Well, I tell you what, an hour and a half, it's not bad considering what we've done. So I would say, I think that's me today. Please, have you taken yours out yet? Probably not. Keep yours in until yours is like that. I sort of feel I can't leave you. I can't leave you until they're all out. I can't. How far?
People are asking you to sit and drink your cocktail while they catch up.
All right, I will. I'm going to take that off, actually. I will. And,
So, what is your best Christmas meal you've ever had?
oh, do you really want to know? I once did a meal that was like a buffet, which we had tapas, we had baby poussin, we had... So what I did was, I did everything for everybody. No matter what people wanted, I did something for everybody. Vegetarians, I catered. It took 3 days to do. Oh, so much. But it was the most fabulous meal. And it was one of those things that I'm sorry I never took a photograph of it, which was such a shame because it was so beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. I didn't miss a beat, not a beat. So that probably was one of my best. My best New Year's Eve meal has been when I did a steamboat, a Chinese steamboat, which is beautiful, which is, you know, all the lovely meats, you help yourself. And that was such a fun thing to do. I'm going to tell you now, guys, I'm not a New Year's Eve lover because I never have been, because every party I've ever been to almost has been a disappointment because it's like the anticipation. So I almost just want to be on my own with a bottle of champagne. And that's how I like New Year's Eve. So I see it in with the Scottish dancing. So basically, I've got, because that to me is what it's all about.
Just a quick one. is the metal base under the tart still? Under your tart. Is the metal, or have you taken it out of the casing?
I've taken it out of the ring.
Oh, so it's off. So it's just
The ring is off,
Yeah.
but that one has not got one on,
But
obviously.
the metal on the bottom is gone.
So there's no metal on that one. That was a non. That was. I'll tell you what those were. Do you know what those were? Those were egg. I couldn't believe when I saw it. They were for eggs in a pan. Who would do eggs? Well, probably somebody, but that's fine. Okay, I'm not criticizing you, but I do think it's a waste of time using it. But what it's good for, it's good for making pies. Okay, good height. That's a great height for pies. So that's what I use it for. Pies, the egg things. It worked really well, and I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to butter it, though I thought I did, but I didn't. So is that off? Has the battery gone? I think the battery's gone. So
Time to say goodnight.
yeah, I think it probably no. Do change. Okay, we've got the battery is gone, guys. The battery has gone on one of my cameras. I hope. Are you still with me? Are they still with me? Are they with me?
Yeah.
Okay, listen, the battery's just gone on my camera in front of me. I've got a camera above. Oh, somebody. Oh, that's Amazon, by the way. That's Amazon. Amazon is a bit late. We've been waiting for stuff to come today, and they said they would come between whatever. I can't believe now.
We have someone from Seattle.
Oh, do we? Hi from Seattle. How are you? Hi. What is it? Oh, boxes. Boxes. Oh, it's all sorts of things. Oh, we've got lots of things from Amazon. Isn't that cool? Sorry about that, guys. Oh, no, I'm this one, aren't I? So, sorry about this. We have these very sophisticated GoPros. So, hi from Seattle. Hi. I used to have many people from America on my cookery course. It was so nice. It was such fun. I got some great pop-up tins somebody sent me once. It's lovely. I'm sitting here really having fun and enjoying myself. Any more questions? How was your Thanksgiving? Was it good? From Seattle. What's your name? Love to know your name, actually.
This is because she's going to have a champagne party.
Oh.
In Seattle. Katie Corky.
Okay, okay. Hi, Katie. You're going to have a champagne party. Oh, a woman after my own heart. A woman after my own heart. Champagne is important. If you go to Waitrose, I think you can get champagne half price. Well, not quite, a third off. It's quite good, actually.
And we have Anne from Connecticut who's giving you a shout out.
Seriously? So that's two from America. What fun. Hi, Anne. Hi from Connecticut.
You've gone global.
I've gone global. Well, we can make tarts over here. We can make tarts over here. We do well. Now, please look out for the new Netflix program. It's a hoot. It's very funny, but also it's wonderful food. Absolutely wonderful. So you don't get mixed up with me wearing whites. I prefer wearing whites than I do my ordinary clothes when I'm cooking, because I've been too long at the job, quite frankly. So I have to wear them because it makes me feel better.
I think we're going to outlast the batteries in the camera.
Oh, okay. Right, guys, I may have to say goodbye. Look, how many of you got your tarts out? Have you got the wobble factor yet? Come on, please, I want hands up.
No, the bubble that we have.
We have got the wobble. So how many of you, please, hands up to... We're going to count. How many? How many?
Well, 37.
So 37. Good? Are they looking good? Good?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. That's what I want to see. Go, we'll just...
We'll be on chat. We'll stay on chat.
All right, listen, guys, we'll be on chat. We're not leaving you alone because this you needed to do properly. You got your tart done. That's the main thing. And I'm very happy with that. And I think it's brilliant because honestly, it doesn't matter how long we go on for. But I'm going to have to say goodbye because the batteries, I'm just saying they're all going. So look, lots of love to all. And thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these tarts, but never mind. Anyway, I have to go around and give them all away. So listen, you take care. And hopefully I'll see you next week with Lavoie. She's wonderful. She's a great drag queen. She comes in her big red big red things, you know, her big red wigs, and she's good fun. She's terribly funny. Anyway, I thought it would put people in a Christmas mood. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye, everybody, and enjoy your lemon tart. Wait for it to cool down, please. Wait for it to go solid. Well, not solid, but, you know, just cool room temperature. So listen, have a lovely evening, and goodbye from Britain. And this is such fun. Goodbye from Britain, and goodbye from my fans in the UK. Anyway, thank you so much. Listen, thanks for joining me, guys. I've had a great evening tonight. It's been wonderful. You worked really, really hard.